This is another video in our series of looking at ideas to play over the top of a progression which is D minor, B flat and C. This one's a little bit more advanced. It involves a little tiny bit of sweep picking and the ability to produce good consistent pull-offs. There's also a little bit of stretching as well. So this one isn't necessarily for a beginner or indeed the faint-hearted. Now what I mean by sweep picking, in case you don't know, is instead of picking individual strings with a series of individual plucking motions, you cross the strings by pulling and pushing in one go, while sounding the notes out individually, as opposed to fretting a chord and getting the notes to run all at the same time. Thankfully, in this riff idea, we're only crossing a couple of strings. So if you're new to this idea, this isn't a huge leap in demand on your technique. Okay, we're just working with the E string and the B string. And in order to do this, instead of having your pick absolutely bolt upright, you just let it lean towards you a little bit so that you can see the top of the pick pointing more towards your face. And that lets the pick glide across the top of the strings, as opposed to if you hold it absolutely bolt upright, the face of the pick is slamming into the side of the string and it's trying to fight its way through and it'll just pop straight out. So just lean it and you'll find there'll be very little resistance. Also, go easy on your grip with the pick as well. Again, if you grip it too tightly, it'll fight. So just let it flap around a little bit. Okay, we're starting off with our little finger up here on the 17th fret of the high E string. That gives us A. And then we've got D, which is our root note here, and that's on the 15th fret of the B string. This is where our little sweep is going to happen. Now you'll notice I'm not keeping both fingers on there, because otherwise I'd get a little power chord that I didn't want. As I put my second finger down, I release my little finger a tiny bit, just enough to lift the string off the fret. If I totally let go, I get the open string and I don't want that. So you just gently seesaw between your two fingers like that, okay? You might want to start off just getting that bit, just getting that right. Then what you need is your first finger here planted on the 13th fret of the B string. That gives us a C. So if I now put the whole assembly together, you can see I'm stretching between the 13th fret on the B string and the 17th fret on the high E. So that little sweep gives us the first two notes, and then the pull off gives us that last note. So that's our D minor chord. To turn D minor into B flat, you need to take your A and go up from the 17th fret to the 18th fret. It's a little bit more of a stretch. The other two fingers and the other two notes remain the same. Now we're just stretching out a little bit further. Can you see up here my thumb? I'm putting it more towards here, the 15th fret. You don't want it back towards the 13th fret where your first finger is, or worse, going that way, because you're trying to send your fingers up the neck and sending your thumb down the neck. There's going to come a point where that doesn't work anymore. So it's the same picking motion, it's the same idea, we're just one fret higher. So D minor, starting on the 17th fret, and then go up one fret to give us B flat. So our root note has moved from here to here, and then we move the entire assembly up, and that gives us C. So now your little finger's up here at the 20th fret, that's your top note. Your second finger is going to land on the 17th fret of the B string, and your first finger is planted on the 15th fret of the B string. Like so. So putting it all together, D minor, up one fret with your little finger to give you B flat, and then move the whole thing up two frets to give you C.